Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here. And first of all, I want to say happy holidays to you guys. Hopefully, you're spending time with family and friends over break. I know I am at the moment. Anyways, I also want to say thank you very much for the continued support throughout this year and just throughout the amount of time I've been making YouTube videos. The amount of support you guys give me is overwhelming. The comments, the thumbs up, I really do appreciate. We've built a really great community. But anyways, I want to talk about the top Android phones of 2015, and that's going to be completely subjective. My opinion may be completely different from yours. If you think a different phone's better, leave a comment and let me know. But anyways, I've had lots of hands-on time with a bunch of different Android devices. I picked about 5 or 6 of them. I'm going to talk about my favorite things about the devices and then pick an overall winner as well. All right, so the first device I want to talk about is the Galaxy S6, specifically the Edge variant. And this device is made by Samsung and was released back in April 2015. And I mainly bring this device up and enjoy this device so much because of its design and form factor. Samsung really took a risk with this device, going with the Edge display, and it really paid off. I honestly love the aesthetics. I love how the text spills off the display. Images do as well when you're watching videos. It just really looks great with the Edge. There are some features built in, such as People Edge and also Apps Edge, and then also it lights up when specific contacts call you if you're face down, which I literally never use. So it really doesn't have too much functionality, but overall the aesthetics of it look fantastic. Now, the two things that killed it for me with the Edge is the software on it, I'll get to that in a bit, and also battery life. However, there is an Edge Plus variant, which does improve battery life. However, you will need to get a bigger form factor because it has a bigger size. Now, this next device kind of came as a surprise to all of us, and it is made by BlackBerry. It is the BlackBerry Priv, which does run Android. Now, the main reason I bring this up is because I personally really like physical keyboards, and this is a very good physical keyboard. It's a little cramped. However, you do get used to it using it over time. Also, it has a very sleek design. Again, it kind of has that Edge display on the side as well. Now, I really wanted to use this device as my daily driver. However, I can't because of its poor battery life, and also the software that it came with is very buggy. BlackBerry needs to do a lot of work in future software updates. Hopefully when it gets Marshmallow, which I'll keep you guys updated on, it does get fixed, because I would love to use this as my daily driver, but like I said, I can't at the moment. Now, the next device I want to talk about is the Moto X Pure Edition. Now, it's not my favorite device. However, it is a fantastic deal on a smartphone. This device starts at $400 and can be completely customized through Moto Maker to your liking. When it comes to specs, it's top-notch specs. Snapdragon 808, 3 gigabytes of RAM. You have a 5.7-inch 1440p LCD display. You have some fantastic front-facing speakers, which perform very well. You have a 21-megapixel camera, which isn't the best, but it does get the job done. You have pretty good battery life. And they have already updated this device to Marshmallow, so Motorola clearly has made it a priority to keep this device updated. Now, I don't think it hits that $300 and under budget phone market. However, it's a fantastic deal for an Android device. Now, I feel that this next device is one of the more underrated devices of the year, and that would be the LG V10 with that second display up at the top. The V10 has what I feel to be the second best camera out there right now, and it has an amazing camera app, especially if you're someone that likes to shoot video with your camera. You could do so many manual controls, whether you're taking a picture or video recording. Now, this device is extremely durable. The build quality is great, which brings along a lot of weight and bulkiness, especially with that second display. And then when it comes to that second display, I find myself really only using it for music controls and notifications while in full screen mode, which is great. However, I feel like this device is too bulky for me personally. And of course, something that's dying, unfortunately, the LG V10 has a removable battery along with a micro SD card slot. When it comes down to it, the LG V10 is definitely up there as one of the best phones of 2015. However, I also feel like the software really holds it back. LG really hasn't grasped material design very well. Hopefully, like I said, when Marshmallow comes out, it will get updated and they will do a better job. There are just two devices left I want to talk to you about, the Samsung Galaxy Note 5 and the Nexus 6P. Now, these are my top two favorite phones of 2015, and they're going head-to-head right now to determine which one is my favorite. Let's first discuss the Nexus 6P, and this device is manufactured by Huawei, and of course it is pure Android, so you're going to get completely stock Android on the device, and Huawei did a fantastic job designing this device. It's a very sleek looking device. It has that nice fingerprint dimple, which is in a perfect spot in the back when pulling it out of your pocket. It's very easy to reach, and the fingerprint sensor is fantastic. It's one of the fastest on any Android phone out there right now. The 6P has a slightly larger form factor than the Note 5, especially because it has those front-facing stereo speakers, and the sound quality of them are fantastic. It's very loud as well. It does have the same display size as the Note 5, however, it is a little bit taller. Now, with that larger form factor, they can include a little bit larger battery, and battery life is very good as well. And with stock Android, you're going to get Android updates first, and coupled with that Snapdragon 810 processor and 3 gigabytes of RAM, this device flies. Any task I throw at it, it is just great. Now, however, I do wish they did have multi-window support on Android. Hopefully that will come in stock Android anyways in the future. Now on the back, you're going to get a 12.3 megapixel rear camera, and overall it is a solid camera. In all lighting conditions, I do wish it had optical image stabilization when it came to video recording. However, it's going to get the job done. Now, it's not as good as Samsung or LG's cameras, but it is up there and it is a very solid camera. Moving along to the Note 5, and it's a very premium looking device, very similar to the S6 line. They went with a very similar design factor. Now it has a 5.7 inch display, very little bezels. It looks really great on the front when you're looking at it. It's a 1440p Super AMOLED display, which is slightly better than the one on the Nexus 6P. On the front of the device, you have capacitive buttons and a physical home button, which also acts as a fingerprint scanner. And overall, the fingerprint scanner is pretty good. It's not as good or as accurate as the Nexus 6Ps is. However, maybe 8 out of 10 times it's going to recognize your fingerprint. On the back of the device, you have a 16 megapixel camera with optical image stabilization, and this is my favorite camera of 2015 on any Android smartphone. It opens very quickly, it snaps pictures quickly, it focuses quickly. It's just an overall fantastic camera. Battery life on the Note 5 is better than any Android device I own. It's a little bit better than the Nexus 6P, which is strange because the 6P's battery is actually a larger capacity than the Note 5's. However, battery life is better on the Note 5. And of course, signature to the Note 5 is the S Pen, which I don't use too much. However, when I do use it, it's definitely functional, especially when I take screenshots and want to write notes or circle something on it. It's actually very convenient. Get to software side of things on the Note 5, and right now it runs Android 5.1. It does not have the Marshmallow update yet, which is a little unfortunate, and of course they have their TouchWiz skin on top of it. That, coupled with an Exynos 7420 and 4 gigabytes of RAM, leads to a very powerful device. It flies through any high-end games, anything like that. You get an occasional stutter, which I believe is TouchWiz related when multitasking or doing various things, which they've added some nice additions to the software, such as multi-window, or you could swipe down from the corner of the window and get little bubbles to have multiple applications open at once. Now, the main problem is that the RAM management is terrible. So what's going to happen is if you have a lot of apps open at once, it's going to start killing apps open in the background that should not be killed, and they should not be closed, so they're going to have to reload when you open them. Home launcher has to reload at times. It's just a little unfortunate. They really screwed up TouchWiz. So the results are in, written on this piece of paper. So my favorite Android device of 2015 is the Note 5, coupled with that fantastic display, that great camera. Oh, wait, just kidding. I have to apologize. The first runner-up is the Note 5. So that means my favorite Android phone of 2015 is the Nexus 6P. It's just an overall powerhouse, a fantastic device with those front-facing speakers, a great fingerprint scanner, great display, great battery life, and of course stock Android, which I personally really like. However, that does not knock the Note 5 in any way. The Note 5 is another amazing device that came out this year. So overall, a fantastic year when it came to Android devices. Hopefully you enjoyed all my videos. I would link to all my reviews in the description if you'd like to see more in-depth feedback on these devices. But of course, lots more to come in 2016 now, so hopefully you're subscribed to my channel. Thank you for all the continued support. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, all links in the description video below. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.